we have Panthers GM Dan Morgan talking about Bryce Young's future with the team.
In terms of, long-term contract, that's something that we're talking about here internally, and we'll do it at the right time. I think you see him just getting better and better every single year, understanding the offense. He's such a good processor, and just, a guy that's just a pleasure to have around the building every day. And as you see him mature, you just see him become a better leader every single year, and the operation's getting faster every year. So we really feel like the arrow's up with Bryce.
Panthers and Bryce Young were in the playoffs last year. Amina, what do you make of the way the Panthers are building around him?
I really love the emphasis they put this offseason on the offensive line, because last year had some pretty significant injuries. Robert Hunt, who is their big money guard, only played 2 games. He comes back. Ike Ekwonu did get hurt. The left tackle got hurt in the playoffs. But they not only signed Rasheed Walker out of Green Bay to a 1-year deal, they also drafted Monroe Freeling in the first round. And I think having that depth, that tackle, combined with Robert Hunt coming back, you're going to see significant improvement in this Panthers offensive line, which should help Bryce Young a great deal.
Number 4 overall pick.
No. We are sticking with the Carolina Panthers. Your deal. They also Carolina Panthers. I'm so excited to talk about the Panthers again today because I made a video over the weekend talking, and it's funny, someone in the comments section, they were kind of getting mad at me because I try to get people to like, subscribe and watch the full length of the video, and it actually only motivated me and pumped me up even more. The idea that people are upset that I'm making videos about teams like the Carolina Panthers or the Tennessee Titans. And it's just like it actually just got me more pumped up, and it really made me kind of reflect on the importance of making videos like the Panthers. And this is why I go on this whole rant where I say, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of video. Because when you guys do that, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof, and it really goes such an insanely long way. Like when you guys watch the video, and subscribe at the same time, like it creates such an avalanche, and it puts me in the best possible position to make Carolina Panthers videos that people genuinely want to watch and genuinely want to discuss. And it's just so amazing. And when I saw that comment, I saw the back and forth, it made me really reflect on all this, and it was just like, like what really is the ultimate goal and the ultimate purpose. And you know what it is it's like we watch all these major shows, The Herd, First Things First, NFL, Get Up, all them, and it's just like teams like the Carolina Panthers are simply not discussed. And when they are, it's for like 2 minutes. And if something significant happens, something really worth discussing, sure, we'll get a full segment, but then we'll never really hear from them again. So, it's like so many fan bases are tuning into shows and their teams are just not being discussed. And it's like I'm trying to change it. Even a segment like this is like a minute segment, because NFL Live is definitely more news-based. So, they'll talk about every team, but they don't have the same, this is just not how NFL Live works. They don't have the same long-term let's just sit here and talk about this team, let's figure out, and when we spend a whole bunch of time talking about them, we're going to do it again tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that and the day after that, and it's just like it really dawned on me, it's just like that's what I want to be able to deliver, because I've said this a lot of times, in videos or even during live streams of must be a bummer to be a Panthers fan or a Jags fan or one of these other fan bases, and you tune into The Herd or any of these shows every single day, and they're just not talking about your team. And it made me then look into the amount of comments that this channel gets compared to other channels. Other channels undeniably have more subscribers, more views, etc. The percentage of people that comment, the people that are actually having discussions, that are actually having real conversations, it's through the roof compared to massive channels, channels that are on TV, channels that are also just more YouTube-based, that are, that are just like other more popular YouTubers. The rate of commenting compared to, per view for this channel is through the roof. So, it's like you guys actually like there's almost no better place to actually have a real conversation in the comments section because there's actual real engagement, and once the views can hopefully one day start to get higher like some of those more popular channels, the comments section is going to be insane and the conversations are just going to be so deep and so in-depth that it's truly going to be second to no one. It'll be known that if you want to have real sports conversations in the comments section, this is the channel to do it. And it's because of things like this. It's being able to grow fans like the Carolina Panthers, being able to talk about all the teams, and actually touching, getting in touch with all the other fan bases so we can actually have the real balanced unbiased conversations where it's not just all swayed in one direction or just completely ignored. And this when that conclusion, when I realized this, it got me so fired up and so excited because of course I get a lot less views than the big massive channels that are on TV or the people that have millions of subscribers like that makes sense. But when I realize that I see the rate of engagement for comments, I'm like what we're doing is working. Like what we're doing here is genuinely working. And I'm sorry to give this whole long rant right now, and I'll probably give this rant for on another video again because it's just like I was so excited to share it, and a team like the Carolina Panthers also really highlight that right now because it's like a fan base like I've really been able to get like a team like the Panthers and the Titans from nothing literally non-existent, and it excites me, and to see some people sometimes try to push back on that, it just makes me laugh and makes me smile because it's like what we're doing is legitimately working and they don't like it. They don't like it. But what I want to talk about with the Carolina Panthers, if you stuck through that whole speech, I apologize. I'm obviously passionate and excited, but with the Carolina Panthers, I totally agree what he was saying about he is growing and getting better every single season and his processing that this is what I had said, I guess a few weeks ago or whatever, that it also kind of dawned on me with Bryce that when he makes his big plays it's not often based off of second or third reactions, it's more in a controlled environment and he operates at a really high level, and that's really when he's at his best. It's not necessarily on those second reactions when a play breaks down, etc., etc. That's not where Bryce Young is going to be at his best, right? That's not who Bryce Young is, at least in this moment. It's not to say that he can't do it. It's not to say that he doesn't have awesome moments, but that's not where you're expecting him to really thrive. But when you see that when everything else is kind of just in control, snorts, he has some big play potential. The problem is we only ever focus on big play potential, when everything breaks down, right? When everything just collapses, that can only get you so far. Look at Mahomes in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. Everything broke down. Mahomes going to do anything? There's nothing for him to do. When things don't break down and you give someone a second and then it's to me it's at the end of the day it's more important to be a true playmaker when everything is under control, not when things are out of control. Again, is it a huge benefit to be able to do things when things break down? Absolutely. Undeniably. Does it make you more resilient? Can you survive a stretch when your team's not at their best or you have some injuries here and there? For sure. But at the end of the day, if you want to win a Super Bowl, if you want to be consistently great, you're going to be playing for a team that needs to be at their best when they're under control. That's how it works. Again, now just look at Josh Allen, who constantly has to make something out of nothing. And it's great and it's fun and it builds up, Josh's reputation and his own legacy. Doesn't lead to Super Bowls. It doesn't lead to Super Bowls. So, that's why I'm excited to see how Bryce Young continues to evolve, because I do think at the end of the day when we look at someone like a quarterback like a Bryce Young and he goes to a team like a Carolina Panthers, it's we do look at that lens of you better be a superhero. You better you're the number 1 overall pick your Bryce Young went to the P you're supposed to resurrect this franchise. You're supposed to be the leader and the absolute unquestionable elite quarterback he can get it done no matter what. And the problem is the Panthers from roster, coaching, etc. has always been a little bit up and down. And to be fair, right now it's not, but in the past and then you see Bryce Young kind of go up and down, left and right. And there's a time when you're like, I don't know if Bryce Young is going to be the quarterback anymore. He's going to be, I think he got benched like 2 on 2 separate accounts. Like I mean, he was pretty much, you know, a meme and a joke of him just wearing like shorts and a t-shirt and the school bag, right? Like and then like you realize like he actually is improving. He actually is growing. And like when you actually have the coach and the team around him, like it's kind of game on right now. Again, is it perfect? No. And this is why I said like in my previous video that like how we'll kind of say, you know, some of these other quarterbacks are not exactly Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. But we have like versions of them like the lesser versions or same thing with like a Jared Goff, right? Like some of his superpowers of what he can do. Like he's an elite passer, an elite processor, an elite operator of it. And then you have like the other secondary version of that. And in a lot of ways, you know, to me, like that's who Bryce Young is compared to, you know, a Patrick Mahomes that you would say a Jared Goff is or Kirk Cousins is to a Matthew Stafford or, you know, Tom Brady or something, right? Where it's just like it's that level of that version of quarterback. So, which goes a long way. And this is why I continue to be excited about the Panthers because I really feel as though they made all the right decisions. We're at this point of Bryce Young's career where it's like, if the Panthers win and are legit, right, like Bryce Young is going to show his worth. He's going to contribute. And if they fail and struggle and Bryce Young fails and struggles, like you can very confidently say, okay, you know what? Bryce Young is probably not the person. And I think it's a great place to be in. You need to be able to really be able to check all the boxes and successfully evaluate what you have right in front of you because of the timeline of how things have unfolded. It's been pretty hard and pretty difficult to do that. And then you even throw in like a veteran quarterback for a stretcher like, oh, look, see, he's having success. And that always then makes the younger quarterback look bad. And it's like, well, no, like this is a bit of a messy situation. Like, of course, someone with experience is going to be able to weather this storm a little bit more efficiently than a quarterback who's like just trying to stay alive right now. And so I just think that what to me right now, outside of me obviously being excited about the moves and the progress that this team as a whole has made, I just think for the first time in a long time, this Panthers team is genuinely going in the right direction. And because of that, they're going to have absolute clarity. They're the decisions that they're going to make moving forward, whether it be to sign Bryce, you know, extend Bryce Young beyond his rookie deal or move on from him, we're going to be able to do so with an insanely high level of confidence. And when you have the confidence in the decisions that you're making, you're more likely to make, you know, because you actually have the clarity, you're more likely to actually make the correct decisions. You're less likely to make mistakes. So, it's just like either way, you have to like where this team is trending, especially if Bryce Young, you know, pretty much everything that I just said ends up being truthful because then it's like, okay, well then this team is going to have a lot of pop. There's going to have, you know, a lot to like here. And I think we also just have to understand that some quarterbacks it just takes a few years for you to like truly get settled. Like, you know, some quarterbacks can absolutely hit the ground running and be monsters from the get-go. Some quarterbacks can absolutely thrive in a really messy situation, you know, like I don't think every quarterback has, you know, because people say, oh, Sam was with the Jets and the Panthers. Sorry, but he's like, you know, of course he was going to be bad and of course he was going to struggle. And it's just like, and I always say like, yeah, you know, if you put Patrick Mahomes on this team with the Jets, you know, during the years that Sam Darnold was there, he's not winning Super Bowls, but do I think that he would have looked better than Sam Darnold? Like yes, I do. Do I think that he would have been able to show is worth more than a Sam? Sure. Absolutely. But like, you know, some quarterbacks don't always have that ability. Some quarterbacks just don't have the luck of the draw of just like who they play. So, at least having one decent weapon to work with, the level O of O-line, the coaching, etc., just where they're at in their development because, lots of young quarterbacks enter the league and they all need to be developed, but they may be better at things that can kind of help them survive a little bit in the NFL early on, I think Colin has done a good job of pointing this out that when you're a young quarterback, really relying on your athleticism is like there's kind of really nothing wrong with it because you're still trying to figure everything else out. And so, if you kind of want to use that a little bit as a get-out-of-jail-free card, like, it's a pretty decent approach that, maybe some of these other quarterbacks, don't necessarily have, right? Like a Lamar Jackson's athleticism. He's going to be able to, get himself out of trouble a lot more than say Jared Goff as a, pure rookie. But at the same time, you're forced to work on the things that truly matter most in the NFL, right? Operating an offense, distributing the ball, etc. So, yeah. I mean, listen, last season with the Panthers, it was one of those things where I'm watching them and I kept saying, I don't know what to make of them. I don't know what to make of them. And it's like one minute I get really excited, the next minute I'm just like, never mind. This isn't good. But then when I was watching more and more games later into the season, I started really convincing myself and being like, no, like this is legit. And I was one of the few people that was like, guys, the Panthers, they're going to like the Rams, just wait. And they had that game. They had that game. I was going to be able to go on such an epic victory lap. Didn't work out. Didn't work out, but we were so close. We were so close. And this year for me, it's just like I said, I love when I can look at a team and have the clarity. I love when I can just draw a conclusion and be confident in it. And the team that they've constructed right now is a team that clearly can win. The coaching is there, the roster is there, the protection, the weapons, the defense, etc. So Bryce Young will be a perfect person to really just be like, this is his touchdown-interception ratio. This is his pass rating. This is his completion percentage. This is what he did against the, so-and-sos. Like, we can really look at it and take it at face value. We can take a lot of his games and just really look at them and be like, yeah, this is who he is. This is who he is. We don't have to be like, well, he's got no run game. Well, his coaching is this. Well, this. Well, that. We don't have to do that. We'll be able to just get such clarity, and I'm genuinely really excited to see what that looks like. To see what that looks like. To see what this officially turns into. So, a lot of excitement there for me. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Carolina Panthers? Bryce Young, how do you feel about the moves that they've made? And, kind of this whole idea what I'm talking about of clarity where it's just like this is the team that they have. There it's genuine. It's legit. Both sides of the ball taken care of. Upgrades kind of everywhere and legitimately supporting Bryce Young to be the best version of him. We should see the best version of Bryce Young this coming season than we ever have. And it's just like there's no excuses to see anything less. And if we do see less, it will be on the shoulders of Bryce Young. So, how does that all land to you guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.